Why AI enforcement layers will redefine scale. Your business is not slowing down because of lack of effort. Everyone thinks scaling problems come from not moving fast enough. But what if the real problem is something quieter? What if your business is becoming operationally unstable underneath growth, and nobody fully sees it yet? Because most companies don't break suddenly. They drift. A sales team starts qualifying differently. Pricing standards loosen slightly. Managers begin manually checking work they use to trust the system to handle. At first, it feels manageable. Then leadership starts carrying the business operationally instead of leading it strategically. And this is exactly where AI is about to change modern business systems completely. Not as automation, as enforcement. That's the shift most companies still haven't understood. Growth can hide instability. Most businesses think they have a productivity problem, a communication problem, or a hiring problem. Often they have an operational consistency problem. And consistency failures are dangerous because they compound invisibly. One sales rep interprets qualification differently. Another discounts too aggressively. Customer onboarding varies depending on who handles the account. Nothing catastrophic happens immediately. Revenue might still grow. That's what makes this dangerous. Because the business starts producing distorted operational signals, unreliable forecasting, inconsistent margins, uneven customer experience, management, distrust in reporting. So leadership compensates manually. More approvals, more meetings, more checking, more Slack messages. You can actually feel this inside scaling companies. Everything gets heavier. Not because the team is lazy, not because leadership lacks intelligence, because operational interpretation starts fragmenting faster than the business can coordinate manually. Most companies respond by adding more tools, but fragmented systems do not create operational coherence. They often amplify inconsistency. That's why businesses can become more technologically advanced while becoming operationally weaker underneath. This is the hidden cost of modern scaling. AI is becoming an enforcement layer. Here's the deeper shift happening underneath AI right now. The strategic value of AI is moving away from task automation toward operational enforcement. That distinction matters enormously. Automation speeds up activity. Enforcement stabilizes execution quality. Different category entirely. Think about air traffic control systems. They do not rely on pilot talent alone to prevent collisions. They reduce interpretational variance through standardized coordination, continuous monitoring, enforced operational logic. Modern businesses rarely operate this way. Most companies still depend too heavily on memory management, correction, tribal knowledge, human interpretation, and that becomes unstable at scale. Because scaling businesses create complexity faster than leaders can supervise manually. This is where AI becomes strategically powerful, not replacing human judgment, but reinforcing judgment consistency across the system. For example, AI can identify qualification drift between sales reps, onboarding inconsistencies linked to churn, pricing behavior outside strategic boundaries, operational bottlenecks forming between departments before leadership feels the downstream financial damage. That changes management completely. Because most operational problems are detected too late. Businesses usually notice instability after margins weaken, after churn rises, after forecasting becomes unreliable. AI enforcement changes the timing. It surfaces operational drift earlier, and earlier detection changes outcomes dramatically. This is why the strongest AI systems of the next decade may not be the most intelligent. They may be the systems that create the strongest operational coherence. That's the real leverage. Strong systems reduce managerial correction. Here's the part most people overlook. The biggest operational cost inside many businesses is not labor. It's leadership bandwidth erosion. Managers constantly correcting preventable inconsistency, reviewing avoidable escalations, reconciling conflicting information, rechecking execution quality manually. That cognitive load compounds quietly, and eventually leadership becomes the operational glue holding the business together. That is not scalable. Strong systems feel different, calmer, cleaner, more predictable. Not because people work harder, because operational standards survive growth pressure without constant supervision. That's what AI enforcement layers actually create. Not just efficiency, operational trust, Strong businesses feel calm. The businesses pulling ahead over the next decade will likely share one characteristic. They will reduce operational variance faster than competitors. That changes everything. Forecasting becomes more reliable. Onboarding becomes more consistent, decisions become cleaner, leadership regains strategic focus, and the emotional difference inside the business becomes obvious. Less noise. Less operational friction. Less constant correction. More clarity. Strong operators understand something most companies still miss. Scale is not about increasing activity endlessly. It's about preserving operational coherence while complexity increases. That's the real strategic role AI is starting to play. Not replacing people, reducing entropy. AI is becoming operational infrastructure. Most businesses are still treating AI like productivity software. Faster emails, faster content, faster reporting. Useful, but strategically shallow. The deeper shift is architectural. AI is becoming operational infrastructure, reinforcing standards, stabilizing execution, preserving decision consistency, reducing organizational drift, and the companies that understand this early will scale very differently from the ones that don't. Because eventually, every business reaches the same limit. Leadership can no longer manually coordinate operational complexity fast enough. That's where systems matter. If this changed how you think about AI, subscribe for more videos on AI growth systems, operational scale, and business architecture. And if you want the deeper breakdown, the full article expands on how AI enforcement layers are reshaping modern business systems.